Every now and then when I'm searching through channels on the television, I find one of those preachers from one of the mega churches around the country. And very often I stay there for a few minutes to listen. It's always good to know what the competition is up to. Lately, they've been talking about the holiday season and saying how all of us, particularly in our country, have become so commercialized that all we think of is that we shop or we decorate or we cook and bake or we visit people, and we miss the whole point of the season. And they try to tell us, don't do these things, pull back from them. Well, I disagree. We're going to do them anyway. Why would we tell people to do something that has become part of our culture? And it seems to me that we should be doing those things, but perhaps with a new vision. So probably most of us in one way or another decorate. We decorate the church, obviously, for Advent. And many of us will decorate the house for Christmas. And that takes time and effort. And sometimes, as in my family it used to, a lot of fights over the Christmas tree, what it's going to look like, where it's going to go, all these kind of things. But if you think about it, when we decorate our house, it reminds us every day that something special is happening, something extraordinary, in fact, and that we go from room to room and see things lighted up in ways they never were before. Or we look from the outside at our house and we see it looking more beautiful than before. It reminds us that this season tells us that the light of the world has come to us and comes to us time after time after time, and that Jesus is part of this season. And so to decorate our house, it's like getting dressed the best you can to do something important in your life. Reminds us that something important is happening. And if we recall that while we do that decoration, it becomes more and more an exercise of goodness and even prayer. Then we shop, either online or at the malls or wherever we go, we shop. And again, that can be difficult. If you're going someplace, it's terrible to find a parking place, to go there, to go to the store, to find what you want, hope it's there, all of that. All of this in our effort to help Santa in his job every year becomes very difficult sometimes. However, if we remember that it is an act of self-giving that we are doing this for the people we love. We are doing this for people who we care about. We do this for people without expecting rewards. We do this out of excitement that they are part of our lives. And it reminds us that God is giving us gifts every day, things that we never even thought to ask for. God is giving us something wonderful. And it reminds us to share that wonderful gift that God is always giving with us to one another. What a wonderful thing that can be if we look at it through that lens. Then people cook and bake. A lot of people do that. That started this past week. And that requires a lot of work. Every year I host my family. It takes work to do things like that. And again, people can become exhausted or not know what to serve. Or this aunt will not eat turkey, or that one will not eat potatoes. And then you have to come up with some kind of crazy menu with everything that pleases everyone, which will never happen. But if we remember that God is always nourishing us with his love and his goodness, and that he asks us to extend that nourishment to others in so many ways. And so people come and are nourished by the food that is shared, by that all the effort it has taken to make it, and hours and hours and hours, and it can be consumed in a half hour. And that's okay, because you don't expect them to take 2.5 hours to eat something that you took 4.5 hours to do. Instead, you did it for them. A gift of nourishment, again, a gift of love. And the final thing we do a lot during this season is we visit, or we get visitors. People come to our homes, we go to other people's homes, and again, that requires some effort. It requires cleaning the house. It requires making sure everybody can get together, get in the car, get out there, go where we need to go, get on a plane sometimes. It all requires energy and effort. And it can be tiresome. It can be difficult. It can be a lot of different things. And if we look at it, that we are becoming more and more a family, God's family, uniting together, being with one another, sharing stories with one another, sharing life with one another. We are living the life that God wants us to be, because God created us to be a family. And so there's all these things that are happening right now during these holidays, and that you might hear every now and then people say, well, don't do that. Don't focus on that. I think our faith, one of the most beautiful things about our Catholic faith, is it teaches us to be in the world, to do what we need to do. And so, let us do what we need to do. Let's decorate and shop and cook and visit, but all with the eyes of God, who's showing us that each one of those activities can be an occasion for great love.